Edinburgh awoke on August 11, 2025, to a sight that will haunt the city for years to come, a spectacle of nature turned menacing, etched against the early morning sky. The initial reports were fragmented, whispers of smoke and an unusual glow, but soon the horrifying truth became undeniable. Arthur's Seat, the ancient volcano that has stood sentinel over the Scottish capital for millennia, was ablaze. The iconic landmark, usually a symbol of tranquility and natural beauty, was now engulfed in a raging inferno. Flames tore up the slopes with terrifying speed, driven by an unseen force. The fire seemed to dance and writhe, consuming everything in its path as it relentlessly climbed towards the summit. Casting an eerie orange glow over the Edinburgh skyline, painting the dawn with strokes of fear and uncertainty. The light pulsed with the intensity of the blaze, a constant reminder of the danger lurking just beyond the city limits. As thick, acrid smoke billowed into the dawn sky, choking the air and casting a pall over the city. The smoke, a dark and ominous cloud, served as a visual testament to the destructive power of the fire. The fire, fueled by an unusually dry summer that had left the vegetation parched and brittle, and a steady, unforgiving breeze, spread with alarming ease. Every gust of wind seemed to fan the flames, pushing them further and faster across the landscape, quickly spreading across the dry gorse bushes and brittle grass, turning the vibrant green landscape into a sea of crackling flames. The fire devoured everything in its path, leaving behind a trail of ash and devastation, transforming the city's beloved landmark into a dangerous and unpredictable inferno. What was once a place of recreation and natural beauty had become a symbol of destruction and potential catastrophe. Emergency calls flooded in before 5 a.m., overwhelming the city's dispatch center as residents frantically reported the unfolding disaster. The phone lines buzzed with fear and urgency, each call painting a more vivid picture of the growing crisis, with residents across the city witnessing the growing wall of fire from their windows and balconies, a terrifying spectacle unfolding before their very eyes. The sheer scale of the blaze was both mesmerizing and deeply unsettling. By sunrise, a blackened scar was already visible on the hill's eastern face, a grim testament to the fire's destructive power. The damage was extensive, a permanent mark etched onto the landscape, a stark and heartbreaking contrast to its usual tranquility, a reminder of what had been lost in the inferno. The peaceful green slopes were now marred by the dark, charred remains of the fire. The rugged and unforgiving terrain made firefighting efforts incredibly perilous, posing significant challenges to the first responders. The steep slopes and rocky outcrops made it difficult to maneuver and access the heart of the blaze, forcing exhausted crews to haul heavy equipment on foot up steep, rocky paths, battling not only the flames but also the very landscape itself. Each step was a struggle, a testament to the dedication and bravery of the firefighters. The wildness and untamed beauty that makes Arthur's Seat so special now became its greatest challenge, hindering efforts to contain and extinguish the blaze. The very features that defined its character now stood as obstacles in the path of the firefighters. Firefighters battled not just the relentless flames, but the very structure and geological makeup of the hill itself, a formidable opponent in this desperate fight. The unstable terrain and sheer cliff faces added another layer of complexity to the already dangerous situation. As the city watched in stunned silence and growing concern, the immediate focus turned to containing the relentless blaze, preventing it from spreading further and threatening nearby residential areas. Every minute counted in this race against time, and protecting both the safety of the public and the brave emergency crews working tirelessly on the front lines. Evacuations were considered, and safety protocols were strictly enforced to minimize the risk of injury. The crucial questions of how this unprecedented event happened and the full extent of the remaining damage will be thoroughly investigated later. The priority now is to extinguish the flames and ensure the safety of everyone involved. For now, the city of Edinburgh holds its breath, united in concern and anxiety, desperately hoping for the arrival of rain and the much-needed relief it would bring. The eyes of the city are turned towards the sky, praying for a break in the weather and an end to this terrifying ordeal. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, but early reports suggest it began on the eastern flank, near Duddingston Loch. Dry gorse and grass, parched by weeks without rain, provided perfect fuel for a single spark, whether accidental or deliberate. A gentle easterly wind pushed the flames rapidly uphill, turning a small ignition into a major incident before dawn. The fire's early start gave it a critical head start, growing unchecked until first light. Investigators will search for clues once it's safe, but the lesson is already clear. Extreme weather has made wildfires a real threat. The park had become a tinderbox, waiting for a trigger. For now, the priority is stopping the fire before more damage is done. The story of how it started will shape future prevention, but today is about the fight to save Arthur's Seat. For Edinburgh's residents, the fire was immediate and visceral. The smell of smoke drifted through open windows, reaching neighborhoods far from Holyrood Park. People watched in disbelief as flames crowned the city's green giant, visible from tenements and the shores of Portobello. Social media filled with images of the burning hill, uniting the city in shock and concern. Early morning runners and dog walkers fled the park as police established cordons and ushered people to safety. The usual calm of Holyrood Park was replaced by urgency and sirens. The air remained thick with smoke, a constant reminder of the battle nearby. For now, the city's iconic view is one of destruction, not beauty. Edinburgh is united in hope for a swift end to the crisis. The Scottish Fire and Rescue Service responded swiftly, escalating the incident as the scale became clear. Over a dozen crews and more than 60 firefighters from across the region converged on the scene. With fire engines unable to reach the flames, crews fought on foot, hauling hoses and equipment up steep slopes. Specialist wildfire units and a helicopter dropping water from Duddingston Loch became crucial to the effort. The helicopter's aerial view guided ground teams to hotspots, while each water drop slowed the fire's advance. Firefighters faced intense heat, thick smoke, and treacherous footing, working in exhausting shifts. Their priority: contain the blaze and protect lives. The operation is a testament to their skill and courage. The city watches, grateful for their dedication. Edinburgh's landmark is in the hands of its bravest. This fire, a stark and unwelcome event, is a direct result of the unusually hot and prolonged dry summer that Scotland has been experiencing. The lack of rainfall, combined with record-breaking temperatures, has created a dangerous environment ripe for wildfires. This extended period of aridity has affected the entirety of Scotland, from the highlands to the urban centres. The landscape, once lush and green, has become parched and brittle, a tinderbox waiting for a spark. Weeks upon weeks without even a drop of rain transformed the normally resilient gorse and the vibrant grasses into highly flammable tinder. Every gust of wind carried the potential for ignition. This extreme dryness meant that wildfires were not just a rural concern. They became a very real and present risk, even within the confines of urban parks and green spaces, threatening the very heart of our cities. Authorities, recognizing the escalating danger, had issued repeated warnings and alerts, urging the public to exercise extreme caution and vigilance. But the true gravity of the situation, the sheer destructive power of nature unleashed, only truly hit home when flames dramatically engulfed Arthur's Seat, a beloved Edinburgh landmark. The underlying cause of these increasingly frequent and severe events is undeniable. Climate change is fundamentally altering our environment, making such occurrences far more common than they once were. The hotter, drier summers we are now experiencing are directly fueling more frequent and significantly more intense wildfires, pushing our ecosystems and emergency services to their limits. It's important to remember that similar blazes have tragically struck various parts of the UK in recent years, serving as grim reminders of the growing threat. The Arthur's Seat fire, however, serves as a stark and unsettling reminder that no area, regardless of its location or perceived safety, is truly immune to the devastating effects of wildfires. The city of Edinburgh, and indeed all urban centres, must now urgently recognise the threat of wildfire, not as a remote possibility, but as a very present and tangible danger. This is no longer a distant threat lurking on the horizon. It is an immediate and pressing concern that demands our immediate attention and action. In this new reality, public vigilance is absolutely crucial. Simple, everyday acts of responsibility, such as ensuring cigarettes are completely extinguished or exercising extreme caution when using barbecues, can collectively prevent a much larger disaster. The Arthur's Seat fire serves as a painful and undeniable lesson in the new reality that Edinburgh, and indeed the world, is now facing. The vulnerability of our landscapes, once taken for granted, is now painfully clear for all to see. The city of Edinburgh and all communities facing similar threats must adapt its strategies and policies to proactively protect its invaluable natural heritage for generations to come. Emergency services have issued a clear message: stay away from Holyrood Park. Police have cordoned off the area and closed roads to allow emergency access. The fire remains unpredictable and public safety is paramount. SFRS Commander David Murdoch urged everyone to keep their distance, stressing that interference could endanger both the public and firefighters. Residents nearby are advised to keep windows and doors closed to avoid smoke inhalation, especially those with health conditions. Health officials are monitoring air quality, but minimizing exposure is key. The response is coordinated across police, fire, and health services. Public cooperation is vital. Every person who follows advice helps resolve the crisis safely. Stay informed through official channels, not speculation. Despite the danger, Edinburgh's community spirit shines. Local cafes and businesses have sent food and water to firefighters, a small but meaningful gesture. Online messages of gratitude and the hashtag #Edinburgh's Bravest flood social media, boosting morale for emergency crews. Neighbours check on each other, especially the vulnerable, and community groups share official updates. The fire has united the city in concern and pride for Arthur's Seat. The solidarity is as important as the firefighting itself. By supporting each other and sharing accurate information, the community helps manage the crisis. Edinburgh's resilience is on full display. While no casualties have been reported, the fire's impact on those nearby was immediate. Early morning walkers described fleeing as flames advanced with alarming speed. One runner recalled seeing a glow, then smoke and fire, before escaping down the hill. Authorities evacuated several homes on Duddingston Low Road as a precaution, offering shelter to affected families. The fire's proximity turned a normal morning into a direct threat for some. Citywide road closures and diverted buses caused major disruption, showing how a single incident can ripple through daily life. These personal stories bring the crisis into sharp focus. Behind the headlines are real people, shaken but safe. The city is relieved that so far there have been no injuries. The human cost is a reminder of what's at stake. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the landscape, the main fire was finally brought under control, thanks to the tireless efforts of the firefighting teams. The immediate threat to surrounding areas had subsided. However, the battle wasn't over yet. Crews remain on site, meticulously working to damp down any remaining hotspots, those hidden embers that could easily reignite the dry vegetation and undo all the progress made. This mop-up operation is crucial to prevent any resurgence of the flames. To ensure the safety of both the public and the emergency personnel, the area remains cordoned off. The public is strongly urged to stay away from the affected zone while this critical and potentially dangerous work continues. Your cooperation is essential. First Minister Hamza Yousaf addressed the nation, praising the swift and coordinated emergency response to the wildfire. He acknowledged the dedication and bravery of all involved. He specifically credited the firefighters with their exceptional skill and unwavering commitment, stating that their actions were instrumental in preventing what could have been a far worse outcome for the city and its surrounding environment. With the immediate crisis averted, attention now turns to the long and complex process of recovery. The focus shifts from suppression to assessment and restoration. The iconic hill now bears a stark black scar, a visible reminder of the fire's destructive power. The landscape has been dramatically altered. The full extent of the ecological damage is still unknown and will take considerable time and expert analysis to accurately assess. The long-term effects on the local ecosystem are a major concern. Teams of environmental scientists will be deployed to evaluate the impact on the park's unique geology and its diverse biodiversity, carefully documenting the changes and potential losses. Their findings will be crucial in guiding the restoration efforts. While the outlook may seem bleak, there is hope for renewal. Some resilient vegetation is likely to recover relatively quickly, showing the remarkable power of nature to heal itself. However, the iconic gorse, a dominant feature of the landscape, faces a longer road to recovery, potentially taking years to fully return to its former glory. The devastating fire serves as a watershed moment for Edinburgh, forcing the city to confront its vulnerabilities and consider the future. It starkly highlights the city's increasing vulnerability to the growing threat of climate change and the need for proactive measures to mitigate future risks. In the wake of this event, a thorough and comprehensive review will be conducted to inform the development of robust future prevention strategies. These strategies will be specifically tailored for Holyrood Park and other vital wild spaces within and surrounding the city, ensuring their long-term protection. For now, the city collectively breathes a sigh of relief, grateful for the bravery of the first responders and the containment of the blaze. The immediate danger has passed, but the lessons learned will remain as the emergency response begins to wind down. The dramatic memory of Arthur's seat ablaze will undoubtedly linger in the minds of Edinburgh residents for years to come, a stark reminder of nature's power. It serves as a powerful and poignant reminder of the critical need to protect and preserve our precious natural heritage for future generations. As the smoke clears, Edinburgh looks forward with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. The city is determined to heal from this experience, adapt to the changing climate, and emerge stronger and more resilient than ever before.